Hello and welcome to Brass Tacks. I'm Zaka Jacob. We're coming to you live from the CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Primetime studio. The Prime Minister designate, Mr. Narendra Modi, was back at his attacking best today after what seemed like an underwhelming election result. Now, in an NDA meeting today in the Central Hall of the Old Parliament building, which endorsed him as their leader, Mr. Modi launched a no-holds-barred attack on the Congress party. The Prime Minister designate made the case that the Congress had nothing to be excited about in this election because they still had not crossed 3 digits. And if you add all that the Congress got in the last 3 general elections, 44 in 2014, 52 in 2019, and now 99 in 2024, that still does not add up to the 240 which the BJP has got on its own. Now, while that might be arithmetically true, there is also a question of perception. There is also a question of who the momentum is with. So it is also true that this election, which Mr. Modi and his party had given the clarion call of 400 par and Mission 370, it's nowhere close to that figure. This election has indeed cut Mr. Modi down to size. He's no longer the once invincible overlord that he used to be. Plus, now he has 2 very tricky allies, old political war horses in Nitish Kumar and Chandrababu Naidu, who spoke today at the NDA parliamentary party meeting. They praised Mr. Modi to the skies, firmly indicating that at least for the moment, they are with him. But as is often seen in politics, it's the ones who praise you to the skies who are the first ones to bring you down to earth as well. So the question tonight is, can Mr. Modi bank on these 2 alliance partners, an alliance which he described as the most successful pre-poll alliance in the history of Indian politics?
विजय की गोद में उन्माद पैदा नहीं होता है और न ही पराजित लोगों के प्रति उपहास करने के हमारे संस्कार। सीट नहीं जीत पाए, लेकिन जिस तेजी से एनडीए का वोट शेयर बढ़ा है, वो साफ साफ संदेश दे रहा है कल में क्या लिखा हुआ है। सरकार चलाने के लिए बहुमत आवश्यक है। लोकतंत्र का वही एक सिद्धांत है, लेकिन देश चलाने के लिए सर्वमत बहुत जरूरी होता है।
The country has witnessed remarkable progress and transformation. Narendra Modi ji focused and dedicated approach has transformed the nation into a global powerhouse.
उन लोगों ने आज तक कोई काम नहीं किया, देश की कोई सेवा नहीं की। आगे अब उन लोगों के लिए कोई गुंजाइश नहीं रहेगा, वो सब खत्म हो जाएगा।
हिंदुस्तान की राजनीति में गठबंधन के इतिहास में प्री पोल अलायंस इतना सफल कभी भी नहीं हुआ है जितना कि एनडीए हुआ।
All right, so there were some very interesting pictures, very interesting video moments that happened today in the Central Hall of the Old Parliament building. The first thing, the Prime Minister walked in, of course, to standing ovation. This is what he did. He took the copy of the Constitution that is there in the Central Hall, put his head on it, worshipped it, kissed it, put it on his forehead, offering his respects to the Constitution. Now, the opposition is claiming he was forced to do this because of the whole Samvidhan Badal Denge blowback, which seems to have cost the BJP. So this was visual number 1, which was quite politically loaded, if I can use that phrase. The NDA flexing its unity muscle, both Mr. Naidu and, of course, Mr. Nitish Kumar honoring the Prime Minister. Pawan Kalyan was there by his side as well. Of course, both of them indicating in no uncertain terms that they are very much with the Prime Minister. Also, the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister designate presenting the Prime Minister with a picture of Tirupati Balaji, Lord Tirupati Balaji. Now, NDA also flexing its muscle. This was an unusual sight. Nitish Kumar trying to touch the feet of the Prime Minister in a mark of respect, and the Prime Minister, of course, stopping him from doing so. So again, a huge signal. At one point of time, Nitish Kumar was hoping that he would be the man replacing Narendra Modi as the Prime Minister of this country. Clearly, this gesture seems to indicate that he's come to terms with the fact that perhaps those prime ministerial ambitions need to be shelved and that he needs to support Narendra Modi-led 3.0 government. Meanwhile, Chirag Paswan, again, a young leader of the LJP who's now part of the NDA, hugging the Prime Minister and the Prime Minister sort of hugging him back. So these images sending out a signal. Some are saying, certainly the first image of the Prime Minister kissing the Constitution, paying his respects to it. The opposition is certainly saying that he was forced to do this because of the nature of the results. But let's listen in to the NDA partners who are saying that they stand firmly behind the agenda that the Prime Minister has laid out for the country.
इस विजन of सबका साथ, सबका विकास and विकसित भारत, and through the collective efforts of NDA, we can become a zero poverty nation. That is possible only नरेंद्र मोदी जी
पूरे तौर पर सब दिन इनके साथ रहेंगे और पूरे तौर पर जो कुछ भी है आज जिस तरह से भी ये करेंगे बहुत अच्छा है। और आप जान लीजिए कि कुछ लोग, हम लोगों को तो अब लगता है कि अगली बार जो आप आइएगा ना, तो इस बार हम देखें कि कुछ इधर उधर कुछ जीत गया है, अगली बार सब हारेगा।
भारत की जनता को सर आप पर पूरा विश्वास है। आप ही में सर वो इच्छा शक्ति है जो गांव और शहर की दूरी को मिटा सकता है। आप ही में वो इच्छा शक्ति है जो अमीर और गरीबी के फासले को पार, जिसने ये लक्ष्य रखा कि 2047 तक भारत को हम लोग विकसित देश बनाएंगे और भारत को विकसित देश बनाने की ओर आप ही हम लोगों को लेकर चल सकते हैं।
All right, so later in the evening, after that NDA meeting, endorsed the Prime Minister designate as the leader of the alliance. He went along with the rest of the alliance partners to meet with the President and to stake claim to form the next government. These are visuals from a little earlier this evening, the Prime Minister meeting the Rashtrapati and the Rashtrapati giving him a letter of invitation that we are in a way back to the era of coalition politics. Clearly, Mr. Modi's government will need the support of both Mr. Naidu and Mr. Nitish Kumar and as well as other smaller allies. But does that necessarily mean we are going back to those days of unstable, shaky coalitions? Because the numbers this time are firmly there with the NDA. And so far, at least, whatever in single party governments, that in itself, the opposition is saying, will force a big change in the manner in which Mr. Modi governs this country.
Well, good evening, Zaka. One, the opposition has a very short memory span. They don't remember that between 1989 and 2014, this country had only and only coalition governments, and a party which managed to form the government, the Congress party which managed to form the government with 145 seats, I think, they should not worry about BJP forming a government with 240 seats. Besides, moreover, this NDA is a very natural alliance of pro-development, pro-reformist, political parties. If I could quickly take you through the main players of NDA, Naidu, between...
Also two allies who have dumped you in the past, or you have dumped them in the past, and those parting of ways were quite bitter. Those are not things that are forgotten in a hurry. Or is it the political expediency has brought you folks back together again?
Zaka, fact is that any regional party in India which has been active for 30 or 40 years has changed sides depending on, what serves the interests of the given state better at a given point of time. So, I think it doesn't impede the performance of the government. fact is that at this point of time, Naidu was extremely peeved with the way Jagan Reddy had led the state.
Okay.
Nitish Kumar had repeated ugly experiences with Tejasvi Yadav because he knew that Tejasvi Yadav and Lalu Yadav would take Bihar back to 2004. Eknath Shinde would never go back to Uddhav Thackeray. So I think it's a natural alliance. And Chirag Paswan, by the way, his
Okay.
track right, brilliant.
Since
He's
you are from
a man,
Mumbai, I hope you're
leader
sure
who never
about
talks about
the reference to Mr. Shinde never going back to Mr. Thackeray. But be that as it may, Matthew Anthony, the point is this, that you in 2019 and now 99 in 2024, it still does not add up to the 240 that the BJP alone has got in 2024.
Saka, let me tell you this, that Naidu and Nitish Dependent Alliance, that's NDA right now, you have seen in the past how Naidu and how Nitish has turned their sides to their choice, to their liking, to their demands. Now, from a 400 par, 400 par, you see that they have cut down to 240. And you have seen, and you have seen how many times the stage has been shared by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi with anybody else. And look at the first day itself, the compromise they have to make, and Modi becoming one among so many. And how many times you have seen the Prime Minister making an NDA remark in the last 10 years, whereas today he is forced to make an NDA remark, whereas he was always maintaining Bajpa in his speech. And look at the dependence which they have got in two of their main allies right now, and look at the way they are going to demand. And that's exactly what we are going to say. We are not against coalition government. We say that coalition governments always gives good governance and good justice because, you put a check to each other. But BJP as a party has been arrogant, and BJP has a history of breaking their allies. Look at from AIADMK, look at from Shiv Sena, look at in Haryana. Everywhere they have a history of breaking their allies, backstabbing their allies. And that's exactly what we are saying. That
knowing that fully well, Mr. Naidu and Mr. Nitish have still decided to go ahead with the BJP.
Let's see how long. That's what we are saying.
Well, right now in this morning speech, they said not just the next 5 years, we are with you for the next 10 years. Nitish Kumar said that.
We have seen people who are with us and who are with them going out in the night and, swearing in us deputy chief ministers coming back in the evening. The country has seen many instances like that. So let's not go by the camaraderie which we have seen today. Tomorrow when issues of negotiations will come, we can see how these partners will behave.
Abhishek Jha is joining us from the JDU. Forget about the issues. Issues पे तो आएंगे ही आएंगे. But more than the issues, Abhishek Jha, 2013 में अलग से लड़े, 14 में इकट्ठा लड़े, 15 में दोबारा स्प्लिट हुआ, then 17 में वापस NDA में आए. This whole business of ना इधर का ना उधर का, why? That is what is leading everyone, including people in the BJP, to suspect क्या इस बार नीतीश कुमार हमारे साथ ही रहेंगे या कहीं और चले जाएंगे. हालांकि उन्होंने बोला है थ्रू द कोर्स ऑफ द कैंपेन अब यहीं रहूंगा, बट देन ही हैज सेड दैट इन द पास्ट आल्सो.
See, we cannot do anything about the people who have questions in their mind regarding the credibility of Nitish Kumar. People criticized him. People said that the credibility of Nitish Kumar ji in Bihar is on a big question mark. But the people of Bihar have replied very well and posted a slap on the faces of our opposition leaders. The NDA has performed very well in Bihar and we have won maximum seats, and Nitish Kumar ji has great faith in this NDA government. Our entire party was with NDA earlier, is with NDA, and we will strongly be with this NDA alliance in the future also. See, people were telling that this NDA is Nitish, Naidu, NDA dependent alliance.
Dependent alliance. Yeah.
We want to say that earlier no one could ever imagine. No one could ever imagine that Mamta ji will sit with Congress party, or Akhilesh ji or Arvind Kejriwal ji will sit with Congress party. It was Honorable Nitish Kumar ji who laid the foundation stone of this NDA alliance. And after Nitish Kumar went out of this alliance, that N went away. That N went away. A for Arvind Kejriwal ji went away in Punjab, you saw that, witnessed that. And D for Didi in Bengal, she also went away. So this NDA alliance was just I, and I signifies Ahem, which resembles with the strategies of Congress party. So there's nothing like India alliance in this nation. we are very surprised that a
Sir, there are
student who
26
has failed is
parties. उनमें से
criticizing
एक
a student.
छोड़ के चला गया, 25 हो गया. That doesn't mean that it's not an alliance. They have 234 seats between them. Just six short of what the BJP has.
ममता जी के साथ नहीं, ममता जी के साथ चुनाव लड़ी. Did Mamta fight the election with?
तो क्या हुआ? कल तो अभिषेक बैनर्जी तो बैठे थे.
She fought the election against.
No, but Abhishek Banerjee was very much part of the India Alliance meeting that happened at Mr. Kharge's residence.
From the very beginning, na?
Huh?
Well, you are talking about changing stance. Earlier, Mamta said that we are out of this India Alliance. Then later on, she said if India Alliance will be in power, we'll support them just outside the government. Then again, she changed the stand and said that we will participate in the government. You must have heard about the statement of Gopal Rai, Aam Aadmi Party leader. He has said that we have this alliance only till that Lok Sabha election, and in the upcoming Vidhan Sabha elections, Aam Aadmi Party is going to contest the election on its own.
Okay.
Is it the way of India Alliance? They contested the election against each other in Punjab. What was it? It was also just a mere show. People are not going to believe in such alliance, and people have given a clear mandate to this NDA government. And there is the swearing-in ceremony of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. We are very hopeful and we are focusing on the agenda of development, and that is the first and foremost requirement of this nation.
Selam Dharanidharan, the point again being that the Prime Minister today said that the NDA is the most successful pre-poll alliance in the history of India. All of these parties who are supporting Mr. Modi's government, 3.0 government, whether it's TDP or JDU or Chirag Paswan, Pawan Kalyan, Anupriya Patel, they were all part of a pre-poll alliance. They've not added any new ally after winning the election. Whereas in your case, Mamta Banerjee, no one quite knows, on again, off again. 1 year before the elections, she was very much there in the India Alliance meetings. During the course of the elections, she says, I'm not going to concede any seats. She's fighting against both left and Congress. After the election, Abhishek Banerjee is part of the meeting. So, why should people of India take such a grouping of 20-odd parties where some people are quite fickle? Why?
BJP, the whole foundation for India Alliance is to protect the tenets of the constitution, which we felt was being destroyed under Prime Minister Modi. It was made very clear by my leader on his birthday on March 1st, 2023, that we need an alliance to save India. And that's why India to save India, right? If you look how the country was run from 2019-2024, it was going from a democratic to an authoritarian state. Proof for that is a think tank, Be Them, and similar other renowned think tanks in Europe and across the globe has started putting India, clubbing India rather, as an authority along with other electoral autocracies. That's where we are going. We saw how the selection of election commissioners was tweaked. We saw how the ED was behaving. We saw how every institution was behaving. The idea of this,
one favorite bogey of the opposition, Dharani, was EVMs. All opposition parties were saying, oh, EVMs are fixed and EVMs are rigged and EVMs are this and EVMs are that. After the election results, no opposition leader is saying anything about EVMs. Why? Because the result suits you.
No, it's not that. See, before going to that, I also want to say, even from 2004 to 2009 was one of the best governments in the last 2 decades, right? Before Prime Minister Modi came to power. And even then we had CPM and CPI in the alliance, and CPM and Congress fought separately in Kerala, but that alliance was able to run.
No. CPM and CPI were not part of the government. They were extending support to you from outside the government. They never were part of the government. They were giving outside support. There's a difference.
Yes, but still, they run elections separately in Kerala.
Yes.
Even now, separately in respective states, in Punjab and in 2 parties can tweak the results. And this is where the electoral process become important. When I question the electoral process,
your railing and ranting was against the machine. The machine is rigged, and every 2 votes that are put, even if it is put for the opposition, one of it has to go to the BJP. All kinds of. Then there was this whole, the entire system can be hacked. All kinds of allegations were made up until the day before counting. By the way, let me remind you, so much so that the election commissioner had to come and clarify. But anyway, that's a bygone. Let's leave that bygone as a bygone. Tuhin, the point is that the opposition is continuously saying, and they have a point when they say, a party or a leader with absolute majority on his own is going to be a very different animal, a very different kettle of fish, as opposed to a Prime Minister who's dependent on two very, very pesky allies, allies who know this business, who have been doing this for the last 25, 30 years.
Well,
they have been part of different coalition governments and have left those coalition governments for various reasons.
Zaka, since 2002, this opposition has been fantasizing about Modi ji's downfall, and every time they wish, they pray for his downfall, he emerges. BJP, then Prime Minister Modi, has had a good experience of coalition politics and of handling coalition partners. So, these people can thrive in their their wishful thinking. But as Prime Minister Modi said today, this is a government for the next 10 years. In sports, there is a term called the law of averages. So, these people were down, Congress and the opposition were down for a very long time. They've managed to bounce back because of law of averages, but they're going to fall very soon, and you will be surprised by the robustness of NDA 3.
Okay, Matthew Anthony, you're going to fall again very soon. The only reason why you've come from 52 to 99 is because of law of averages. It had to catch up with the BJP.
Saka, let's credit Rahul Gandhi for what he has done. He has stood firm on what he has told from the very beginning, and this time he has made it very clear, and the Congress party has bounced back with a 100% increase from what we had earlier. So there is no point in blaming Rahul Gandhi. And look at his winning margins. He has won both the seats by more than 3.5 lakhs. And look at the prime ministers, so-called popular prime ministers' winning margin in Varanasi. It clearly shows, that his political identity. But we came together to save the constitution, and we have so far succeeded to a large extent.
So that's been done,
we couldn't get the majority. That's very clear.
From the images today from Central Hall, many Congress handles and other opposition party handles have been tweeting that you forced Narendra Modi to kiss the constitution, to pay respects to the constitution before going up on stage. That's what they're claiming. That's what they're claiming. You look at their handles.
Completely.
They are liars.
Else, have you ever heard Narendra Modi speaking anything other than Hindutva? The constitution. He has never mentioned constitution. He has always mentioned Hindutva. While the country has discarded it, country has voted for saving and protecting the constitution.
Yeah, okay. Tuhin.
Zaka, you would recall that when Prime Minister Modi first entered Parliament as a member of Parliament and Prime Minister in 2014, he prayed, at the steps of the Parliament. In 2019, in the same way that he prayed to the Constitution today, he had prayed to the Constitution book in 2019. Now, this election
in Maharashtra, that he will amend the Constitution and reservations will be taken away. That was a single big reason for Dalit votes to move away from the BJP, both in UP and in Maharashtra. Now, you can say that was fake news, rumors being spread by the opposition, but isn't the attempt by the Prime Minister today, by kissing the Constitution, by paying his respects before he went up on stage, to try and send out the signal to those people, those Dalits who have gone away from the BJP that, look, I respect the Constitution as a sacred book, as a holy book.
But that's exactly what I'm pointing out. In 2019, you have pretty much a similar picture of him bowing in front of the Constitution before taking oath. In 2000,
Maharashtra is your home state.
The Congress can be lucky. The Congress can be lucky on one occasion. They were extremely lucky to mislead people with doctored videos, with fake news, with fake guarantee cards. But luck doesn't favor you when you are peddling such fake news all the time.
Salem Dharanidharan is smiling.
Lesson the hard way in the coming elections.
He is smiling. As have been many opposition spokespersons, by the way, may I add, since Tuesday, since these results came. But yeah, Dharani.
I think it's absolutely ironical that how BJP comes and talks about fake news. I think the party that thrives on fake news, in fact, a research done by most people on the field, they say 90% of the significant Twitter profiles that propagate fake news in India belong to the BJP party. His style of functioning is authoritarian. A minister bill has been discussed, minuscule. Many bills have not even gone to the parliament, where through resolutions. So how can he come and discuss bills?
No, but why do you believe that will change under a coalition government? What makes you think that the TDP or JDU will want bills to be discussed? They will go along with what the BJP is saying and what the Prime Minister is saying.
I certainly believe that they wouldn't at least be the yes men, which Prime Minister Modi got, where something would be read and they just raise hands up and complete disdain for parliamentary procedures was shown under Prime Minister Modi, specifically from 2019 and 24. We
Okay.
have all the data. Even the meeting days for the parliament reduced.
Abhishek
Mr.
Jha,
Naidu himself,
the other
Mr.
critical,
Naidu himself,
the other
Mr.
critical,
Naidu him-
the other critical problem is that on many contentious issues, caste census, UCC, One Nation, One Poll, many of these critical issues, JDU and BJP are not on the same page. Neither is TDP and BJP. I in fact spoke to Nara Lokesh of the TDP. I'll play out that interview in the latter part of this hour, where he said, as far as the Muslim quota is concerned, TDP is going to stick to its sole stand. And if they need to find a middle ground, it has to be after a process of negotiation and both parties have to come to a consensus. If not, TDP is going to stick to its own stand. So, how are you going to navigate these contentious issues? For example, we know that Mr. Nitish Kumar is the architect of caste census. We know that BJP does not want to do caste census. How are you going to convince the BJP and Narendra Modi Sarkar 3.0 of doing caste census?
Jaka, this is the beauty of our internal democracy. There are various issues we can have different way of thinking. And we are in a state always to express our views on different issues. Earlier also we have presented our perspective regarding caste census, regarding UCC, regarding this Agniveer Yojana. But people in opposition are relating this to the fact that we are not in support of the government. See, we have said, and our leaders have said clearly that we have given unconditional support to the government led by Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But on different issues, if we want some kind of discussion, this is our internal partner. Why are they worrying? They should not worry for what is not their cup of tea.
No, but even before the government has been
steps
sworn in and the swearing in is happening on Sunday, already there are voices in the JDU saying this Agniveer scheme should be scrapped.
You must have heard the statement of Honorable Alan Singh, who is the leader in the parliamentary leader of our party. He has said that we have extended our unconditional support to this NDA government. But still, some leaders in our party have said that we need a discussion of it. If any scheme is being launched by the government, a systematic review is also required time to time. This is a very normal process. In Bihar also,
Okay.
we had this...
Tuhin, this is what the opposition is
I'll take
saying,
10
that
seconds.
Mr. Modi would be forced to check those policies which his allies or people in general feel are not beneficial or are counterproductive. Whereas in the previous government or in term one, he could just steamroll those things, whether it is Agniveer or bills. The 17th Lok Sabha, by the way, has the record for the lowest number of parliamentary select committees and standing committees. That's what the opposition is saying. And the reason that is the case is because he had absolute numbers. He didn't have to consult with anybody.
Well, Zaka, if I were in the opposition, I would, be really worried about having to spend the third consecutive term in the opposition. So I don't think they should be worried about us. Whatever be the issue, Prime Minister Modi has always been open to a threadbare discussion, and the same approach will be followed. Agniveer was implemented based on the recommendations of the Kargil War Commission constituted after the Kargil War. Now, if the scheme requires changes which are in the interests of the country, which are in the interest of the armed forces, we cannot be close to that. We have always been open to positive changes.
No, what about on the farm laws, for example? Again, the opposition was saying it was bulldozed through parliament, no consultation, no reference to standing committee. For a year plus, the farmers sat on the borders of Delhi, and then the Prime Minister was forced to resign on those bills.
The farm laws, they don't exist at this point of time. But fact is, whatever be the issue, on the issue of UCC and on the issue of One Nation, One Poll,
yeah.
I think JDU has already expressed its in-principle approval of it. We can discuss the modalities later. But fact is that, like I mentioned right at the very start, all of the partners are extremely pro-development, are extremely pro-reformist. They will not drag the country back with fake promises, unlike the NDA alliance.
Like I said, I'm playing out that interview with Nara Lokesh in a moment, but one of the questions that I asked him specifically was about the differences between the TDP and the BJP, and he said that it has to be resolved through mutual respect and mutual dialogue. All right, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much to all our guests. Thank you, and we'll see you again over the weekend. It's going to be a busy weekend, lots of meetings tomorrow. The Congress Parliamentary Party meeting is happening, the CWC, and then on Sunday, the big day of swearing in. It's at 7:15 in the evening, but our coverage starts from 4 o'clock onwards, so do join us here on CNN News 18 for the ringside view of who makes it to the new cabinet, Modi 3.0, whether allies are accommodated and to what degree, who are the big names who could possibly get dropped, or the big surprises, the new inclusions in the Modi Cabinet 3.0. All of that we'll have on Sunday. You're watching Brass Tacks coming to you live from the CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Primetime Studio. I'm Zaka Jacob. That exclusive interview with Nara Lokesh right on the other side.